the NBA, where LeBron's future remains up in the air. The 41-year-old is one of the biggest names on the market this offseason, but can only negotiate with the Lakers until free agency officially opens on Tuesday. In the meantime, everyone seems to be chiming in on where they want to see LeBron sign, including Kevin Garnett on his podcast.
If he's doing a farewell tour and this is his last hurrah, I would like to see him in Cleveland. Y'all got to remember, when Bron is back in Cleveland, Cleveland's market, economy, the economy goes up when Bron is there, bro. Everybody made money when Bron was there. Yeah. I'm talking about, listen, you go through that, it is a ghost town. When Bron there, man, they got 6, 7 new restaurants. They got this over that. They got lounges, bro. The casino right there. Everybody, they get every home game sold out, bro. Yeah. Well, you got to bring him back to Cleveland, bro.
I mean, if LeBron goes back to Cleveland, does that mean we get the fun guys trip Instagram stories that we've been getting from that 2016 team, repeating that? As long as that happens, I'm good with it. But Shams, what is the latest that you're hearing right now on LeBron's future as it pertains to the Lakers?
The Lakers have been pursuing parallel paths so far this offseason. One is their own free agents, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and then Rui Hachimura in that order. So they got Austin Reeves done, right? 4 years, $185 million max contract. So now it's on LeBron and Rui Hachimura. But the other path that they've been doing is they've got about $50 million in cap space. They've been seeking out trade suitors. Who can we trade for and absorb and bring into this $50 million? And if they are able to find a player or two to put in there, that impacts what they can offer LeBron. And so it's pursuing both of those, and they have been very active in doing the trade aspect of all of this. So my understanding is there hasn't been an offer out to LeBron James yet as far as his free agency. We'll see how that develops over the next 4 or 5 days when free agency starts. But a lot of it is like, how much can we upgrade the roster and then potentially go back to LeBron? Or do you take care of LeBron first and then figure out any type of potential roster move?
You mentioned the $50 million in cap space. I mean, in theory, they have that, but there's also the DeAndre Ayton player option. Marcus Smart has the player option. So slowly, Vince, some of those, that number's going to dwindle a little bit and what they're going to be able to offer LeBron James. But you hear Kevin Garnett there. He made his pitch. Very, very good one, by the way, about why LeBron should go back to Cleveland. Do you think that he'd be better off leaving L.A.?
No, I don't think you'd be better off leaving L.A. The question is, would L.A. be better off not having LeBron? And I think the answer to both those questions is no. I think LeBron and the Lakers need each other. It's just a matter of figuring out what number is best to field a reasonable contender. I don't think LeBron at this stage of his career is winning a championship. He's going to be 42 years old in December, and he's worth so much more than a veteran minimum or a mid-level contract, which is going to be $15 million. But when you're the Lakers, you have the first time in the time since LeBron has been there. LeBron is not the first priority. Luka Doncic is. And how is LeBron going to be able to handle dealing with that? Because LeBron's needs and Luka's needs are two totally different things, and that's what makes this all the more fascinating.
Well, Tim, I mean, you hear what Vince says there about he's better off in Los Angeles. So does LeBron need to take less money, effectively a team-friendly deal here, but not something that would be absurd, because he is worth, obviously, way more than a veteran minimum deal, obviously. But, does he need to take less money to help out the Lakers in order for them to get to a championship?
Do the Lakers need him to take a significant pay cut? Absolutely, because if he doesn't, there's no more financial flexibility. And this is the summer that the Lakers promised Luka Doncic that you would see real upgrades to the roster, to the rest of the rotation. So, to me, the Lakers need to figure out what their options are, what they can get done, and go to LeBron and say, hey, we can do X, Y, and Z. This is the number that we have for you. Say it as politely as possible, as respectfully as possible. But the simple fact is, it's not like there's max opportunities for LeBron this summer. You know, he could go to Golden State, but that's a mid-level contract. If you want to talk about Cleveland, that's a minimum contract unless there's some sort of sign and trade scenario there. So again, the Lakers want LeBron back, but he cannot be the priority. The priority has to be that long-term view.
Okay, so you hear that, and we think about what happens next for this Lakers team. They just gave Austin Reeves that big deal. They have Luka Doncic in the fold for the long term. This team is being built around those two. LeBron's the question mark here. Is it now or never, Vince, for them to make changes? Because the way I'm hearing you guys talk about these cap implications and what it means is it might lead me to believe that 27's the year they make actual change in LA.
Depends. Depends on if LeBron James is on your roster. It also depends if LeBron James plays beyond next season. We don't know. LeBron has never come out and said, hey, this is where my ride ends. We are assuming that every year could be the final year of LeBron James because everything is so unprecedented. And if you're the Lakers, you don't want to be the team that lets LeBron James walk. You are the franchise of Magic Johnson, of Kobe Bryant, of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. All those guys finished their career in a Laker uniform. It is important for the Lakers that LeBron finish his career with them because it's such a bad look if he goes anywhere else.
Yeah, they're going to hope that he's a very generous person here. Maybe not signing for pennies on the dollar, but signing for well less than what he could command at this point of his career somewhere else. So let's go to the big NBA trade from yesterday that Shams broke during our show. Hornets sending star guard LaMelo Ball to pair up with Anthony Edwards on the Timberwolves. The trade also sends Josh Green to Minnesota in exchange for Naz Reid and a series of draft picks that then return to the Hornets. Shams, the latest on Minnesota. Are they done dealing?
Minnesota has to be very active in recruiting. And Tim Connolly, their president of basketball operations, has been described over the last 24 hours to me by GMs around the league as a gunslinger. This trade that he made right here, gave up assets to go get LaMelo Ball. It harkens back to when he gave up a ton of draft capital to go get Rudy Gobert. That team ends up getting to back-to-back conference finals appearances with Rudy Gobert at the anchor of it all. So now they're making a big swing. There's a calculated risk that comes with trading here for LaMelo Ball, but that leaves them now, salary-wise, with basically minimums to offer free agents. And there's obviously a gaping hole at the four-man position at power forward, so they're going to have to start recruiting very actively once free agency starts on June 30th.
Tim, who was the biggest winner in yesterday's trade, in your opinion?
Well, I'll give you the opinion of people around the league that I canvassed, and it was almost unanimously that the Charlotte Hornets were the biggest winner. And look, there's a lot of respect for Tim Connolly. People call him a riverboat gambler. And I had some people say I didn't like the Rudy Gobert deal, and that worked out great for the Timberwolves. So with those caveats, the almost consensus opinion of the people I talked to around the league was LaMelo Ball had next to no value a year ago. Jeff Peterson, the Charlotte Hornets general manager, they said, kind of cleaned him up, and as soon as he had value, pounced on the opportunity to move him.
So the way that I hear that is that the Hornets did right in this trade. They sell high. Minnesota, Vince, still a little bit of a question mark here because you offload Julius Randle, you give Ayo Dosunmu the 4-year, $112 million contract. Then there's Anthony Edwards, and he is the cog in all of this. Like, did they do right by him by getting LaMelo Ball?
Well, understand this. You don't make a trade like this. You don't make consecutive transactions like this without the consultation of Anthony Edwards. You don't do this without letting them know these are our plans and this is where we plan to land this plane by giving you a point guard who can A, make your game easier, and B, someone who you can also play with that's also creative. It staves off the inevitable is Anthony Edwards unhappy in Minnesota talk that we know was going to come up. It staves off the is Anthony Edwards doing enough throughout the course of his career to get to the NBA Finals? But my question is LaMelo Ball a serious defensive player at this stage? Because Oklahoma City and San Antonio, we know they got dogs in their backcourt, and they're going to go after him. Can he match that energy?
That's what I want to know. Like, is LaMelo Ball moving into the Western Conference? Can he contend against those more physical guards? I know that you mentioned that on our call this morning. And Tim, like, this roster doesn't feel complete just yet. I mean, we also forgot to mention the Naz Reid of it all. Like, they've got pieces and holes that they have to fill. So have they done enough to get back to the Western Conference Finals? Because that's obviously the floor. Like, what more do you feel like they need to do in order to get back to that place?
I mean, what they need to do and what they can do are two very different things. They need to address the glaring hole that they have at power forward. They are very limited in terms of the wiggle room that they have from a salary cap or from a, their hard cap. They don't have a lot of flexibility to go out and address that power forward issue. Is it enough to get back to the conference finals? Probably not, because there are still two teams that are clearly the top tier in the Western Conference. They are not better than the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are not better than the San Antonio Spurs. Neither is anybody else in the West.
The most important thing for the Minnesota Timberwolves is LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards have a prior relationship. They're friends. They've spoken. And he's excited and he knows the task at hand here in Minnesota, and that's trying to win championships. And so, not sure the last time LaMelo Ball, I don't think LaMelo Ball has ever entered an NBA season where the only goal is to win a championship, and that comes with being the best partner to Anthony Edwards in the backcourt.
Yeah, the stakes are the highest they've ever been for LaMelo Ball at this stage of his career, but as we know, these moves do not happen for superstars unless it gets the superstar sign-off, like you were alluding to, Vince. Certainly feels like Anthony Edwards knew and knows what's going on all of this and has a big say in all of those things. All right.